Chapter 9. An Unusual Visit. She asked to meet me in the coffee shop by the morning, a few days after our mountain getaway. She told me we were going somewhere, but didn't give me the reason why or what we would be doing there. Her giggly self present again across the table. Today, I'm going to let you pick my coffin. I hold my cup mid-air, almost spitting out the drink. And she tells me the nearest coffin shop's just a few blocks away from the heart of the city. She's cheerful talking about it, the details, the kind of wood or design she will like, and more so, wondered how is she going to look like. I feel bad hearing her talk like this. Only then I realize this must be her way of cheering herself up within her shortened days lately. I can't help but think this is what life does to most people who knew they're not here for long. They try to overdo things that they can still do, get a hold of the right to choose what they can choose, and be who and what can they be in the remaining time. My thoughts on this were interrupted when she gave me one of those assuring smiles she has, reaching for my hand across the table. Come on, it'll be fun, she whispered. There was a hint of sadness lurking behind her eyes, and I can see it, no matter how hard she tries to conceal it. You understand, don't you? I always do. It was well past 11 when we departed the shop, and along the way, she held up her phone and placed a song, cheerfully singing along it. Her voice was sweet and low, and we received some funny stares along the way with her singing. At the same time, she was encouraging me to sing along, and Evan cared less about what others think. We were on our own space so much that everyone else becomes a mere decoration, a supporting presence, a reminder that we're still here, but we're also detached from everything. The city starts getting filled with passersby when we reach the street where the shop is at. She told me she used to pass over here a couple of times in the past, telling me she planned doing it, only she didn't have the courage to do so. We passed through a line of flower shops when she pointed towards a small boutique on the left. A middle-aged man greeted us when we walked in, quickly asked what we need. We'll look around for a few minutes, if that's all right. Evan replied, and with a nod, the man led us through the row of newly painted coffins. It was a large room divided into two sections. The coffins on the left seemed new, but they were not painted yet, and the ones on the right were all shiny. They were all seemed ready for pickup. I looked over past the room, and thinking there's a corpse lying lifeless behind these curtains drilled my stomach into knots. Evan gushed over a certain coffin, and hearing this I quickly dismissed the thought. I think this would look nice with me on it, she said, pulling me towards a mahogany painted one, tailored with its gold finishing touches. It looks way too large for her, my heart aching through my chest just thinking about it. How, how about a little smaller? I suggested. You're right, she said. Let's look around for some more. I followed her as she moves along the rest of the room, and she gasped in awe as she caught sight of a lilac-colored coffin piled next to a black one. This is it, she whispered. This is the one. She bent over to see more, and she asked me if I could call the shop assistant earlier. Of course, I didn't listen. I was watching her in awe. She pushed one of the empty iron bed next to the coffin and lying on it, as if it's just normal to do that, as if she had been doing it too comfortably for the rest of her days. She was trying to see if it fits right with the height of the coffin, and I was about to stop her when the shop assistant appeared and asked her to get off at once, bewildered. She quickly jumped out of the iron bed, flushing the man a smile. How much does this one cost? She asked. 15,000, but we might be adding more because this is for display basis only. We would need to know the measurements of the person. The man professionally replied. Well, what if it's me? Evan then asked. The man shot me an odd look, probably thinking this was some prank, but he played it pretty cool, telling her the price will stay at 15,000 if it would be her. Do you accept advance payments? Evan asked again. The man's eyes flares up at me in confusion. Yes, we do, he answered on a breath. Great, Evan exclaimed before turning to me. What do you think? It looks nice on me, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's better than the mahogany or the brown one earlier. That's what I thought too. The man watches all of this in complete silence, and when Evan asks if they accept payments through the card, he finally voiced out his thoughts. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're up to, but I need to know who's the coffin going to be for. It's for me, Evan proudly said, touching the coffin. I would be gone away soon. It's sort of a medical thing, you know. I just thought it would be nice if I could pick out my coffin for myself. The man turned to me again to see if he's been hearing it right. With the same weird feeling rolling in my stomach, I gradually nodded. It's one of life's pleasures, you know. Picking out your coffin before anyone else does. Evan continued saying. The man fell into silence, and it was like this for a few minutes until Evan brings the room to motion again when she asked him to start measuring her and ask him anything she needs to know when she's already being prepared to be situated there forever. I watched how pity quickly clouded the man's eyes, and I felt a strong thorn in my chest, wishing it shouldn't have been this way. I look outside the window as they talk, looking at how the world moves outside the shop, oblivious that someone's looking forward to her end, and bitterly knowing they'd all go on with their own lives even if she does. Except for me. I don't think I could go one with mine when Evan's no longer here. The sound of Evan's voice brings me back to the room, and this time, the shop assistant helped her back to lying to the iron bed once again. She relaxes as the minutes goes by. The assistant starts measuring her chest, her elbow, her thigh, her feet, dutifully listing each one of it in a small notebook. The man tried to focus on the task, yet I can't deny how he must be feeling with the weight of bitterness hovering over his chest at the moment. In case you're going to be a bit bloated when the man struggled with his words. When you're already cleaned up, I suggest we'd add a few meters on both sides, on your arms and hips. And you need to be in a loose dress, a custom one, should you want a comfortable fit. The man looked at me and I simply avoided his stares. For a moment, The assistant and I were on the same feeling, on dealing with someone. Someone so willing to come to terms with her ending, with no hesitation at all, full of life and not one sad pitch from her voice. This is probably the first time that the man had encountered such an odd order, and rightfully so, one I'm sure he'd never forget. Right, a dress, Evan said, rising up from the iron bed, sitting, turning to me. I haven't picked the dress yet. She turned to the man, chuckling. Anyway, how would I feel if I'm not comfortable in that box when I won't feel anymore? Because I'm literally dead, she jest. The man slightly smiled at the joke, and I can't bear it anymore. I took a step forward, but Evan saw it and stopped me, keeping her right hand on my shoulder. Do you offer dresses in the package, sir? She inquired. Yes, we do. Perfect. She jumps down from the bed, and this time she loops her right arm to mine. Let's see if they have something that fits me. She gave me a smile. Shall we? Without waiting for my reply, the shop assistant awkwardly shows us in. This way. Soon, she was introduced by two more middle-aged women who shared the same odd look as with the man earlier, upon knowing the reason why we're here. One can even help but keep herself from getting teary-eyed upon watching Evan laugh when one of the dresses was too tight for her to breathe. The old lady excused herself for a minute, and when she came back, I swear her eyes were slightly red, her face flushed. It was well past noon when they were all finished trying out the dresses, and got drawn to the two women talking about her previous school, her life, moreover, the life she had before this. The women tried to keep their tears within themselves, but Evan noticed it and calmed them down, telling them that what will happen to her will happen to the best of us, only in a different way, and she was glad it was the way hers did. I watched all of this, a few sits away, trying to look as firm and composed as I could be, when the assistant earlier approached me, listening to the tree. She's a precious girl, and so young, he whispered, sniffing. Only now I realized he was in tears. How did you cope up with all of this? I don't know. I half-heartedly answered. But deep inside, I knew it was Evan. She was the strength of me these days, even when she's starting to lose hers.